Hello there. So, in this season, we are discussing books, reading, cultivating yourself, aiming for the classics, because that's where you're going to find true wisdom, a temporal and immortal source of knowledge, references for life, um, somehow people who will give you good advice, dead people, I know, but dead people that are going to give you good advice about life, about what you should do, about how you should think, that will teach you to think and so on. And this is the second video on how to read. I recorded the first one, I published it, and I said that maybe we would need a second part and maybe a third part. And of course, if we want to really explore it, we can record 10 videos about it. But I want to be as synthetic as possible. I want to resume the ideas as fast and precise and usefully as possible. Because at the end of the day, this channel, these videos that I record, the objective is just to give you some tips and some orientations and some advice. It's not a deep, profound study on every single aspect of life. Okay, in this video, I want to talk to you about the following when it comes to reading. We spoke about a little bit interacting with the book last time, but I wanted to go in another direction now in terms of interacting with the book. Whenever you are reading something of good quality, which means classic literature, classic philosophy, classic theater, poetry, history, psychology, sociology, and so on, you are going to notice that as you read the chapters of the book, the author is trying to share with you some ideas, some concepts, is trying to tell you something through those chapters. Be it, as I said, a literary book, something about, I don't know, a novel or whatever, or be it a theoretical book, like a philosophy book, a political sciences book, a sociology book. What I would like you to try when you are reading these books is at the end of a chapter to write a couple sentences that summarize the main ideas you have captured from the book. Maybe they are not the main ideas from the book, but the ones you have captured. So once you finish, you need to remember everything that you read. You need to remember the most important passages. And if you have underlined the stuff and wrote down some stuff in the book, you are going to have orientation to help you. Of course, you should also use your memory and the things that you think, the impressions that you have from what you read, and so on. But it would be great if you could write a couple sentences, 5, 6 sentences, summarizing the ideas or the main idea of that chapter that you just read. Once you finish that, you need to find a defining word for that chapter, for that part of the book that you have read. And if you manage to find a word that defines, that summarizes, that somehow brings you the spirit of the chapter, brings you the main idea of the chapter, you have done a good job. You have achieved one of the main objectives when you are reading the book or when you are reading a book, in terms of understanding it. Ideally, if you really want to study a book, and this is what I think you should do when you are reading, you should have a notebook on your side. And by notebook, I do not mean a laptop, of course. I mean something to write on, literally a notebook, a pencil, a pen, or whatever, so that you can write your thoughts about what you're reading, your impressions, questions that you have, things you do not agree with the author, if the author is making references to other books, to other authors, and so on. What are these references? What could they mean? If there is a footnote from the author or from the translator, if you're not able to read in the original, what they are talking about, are they relevant? How can that be useful and good for your reading, and so on. That would be great if you could do that. In this way, you are almost writing with the book, not rewriting the book, but you are almost writing with the book. You are almost engaging on a dialogue with it, and that helps you memorizing more passages from the book. It helps you understanding better. it helps you fixating better the content, and it helps you creating ideas. Because this is the thing, when you read the classics, what I'm calling here the classics, when you read the most important books in history, they are going to be food for your soul, literally. They are going to inspire you. After a while, of course, if you're just starting the journey, maybe it won't happen. But after a while, when you start understanding them, when you get used to this intellectual life, to this life of reading, studying, and so on, what you're going to notice is that they're going to inspire you. They are going to give you ideas. You will want to write after reading them. They will teach you sentences for life. They will teach you big or little knowledge about life. They will help you understanding better the society, humans. They will help you unveil the human soul, understand better other people and yourself. They will help you investigate better people's motivations, what drives people, why they do what they do. And then you will be able to understand more how people work. And maybe it will be easier for you to predict people's actions and so on. It will help you reading the universe somehow. It will be like reading beyond and behind the green lines of the matrix. It will help you understanding life better. So if you manage to get into this engagement with the book and have this kind of interaction with the book, your productivity, what you're going to extract from the book, what is going to come to you after reading it, it's going to be much more positive. It's going to be richer. It's going to be more fruitful. You will get more from it. So I definitely encourage you to try that. Then there's another thing, a little more complicated one, because we are living in times where everyone wants something new, something different. Give me the same thing with a different package just to fool me, and as fast and quick and superficial as possible. But if you decided to go on this journey of reading, of moving slowly, of thinking, of closing the book for a couple minutes after you read something that is important for you, and thinking about it before you continue with the chapter, one thing that I would encourage you to try, and I think it's going to be extremely beneficial for you, is as soon as you finish a book and you think, I liked this book brought me something good, something positive, some thoughts, some knowledge, some insights, it provoked me somehow, it taught me something that I considered valuable. My suggestion to you is, as soon as you finish it, start it again. Don't go for another book. Don't start reading another book. Go for a second round. Read the whole book again. When you do this with a book that you just finished and that you liked, you are going to notice that after your second reading, your interaction with the book, your perception of the book, your understanding of its teachings, of its biggest lessons, of the main concepts, of the most important things that this book is trying to tell you, will be extremely greater, will be more complex. You will be able to connect the dots better in a more profound way, and your understanding of the book, your comprehension of its main ideas, your capacity to remember everything and to connect this book with your life, with other books, with other things that you have learned, with other knowledges and so on, will be greater and greater and greater as you read throughout the book. As I said, it's a very difficult mission, because when we finish, we normally think, oh, now I know the story, so I'm just going to go to the next one and see a new story because I want something new. I understand that. I know the times we are living in. I know the difficulty of such an attempt, but I need to encourage it to you nevertheless, because I really think that things can change a lot. Things can become way more solid, way more coherent and consistent in your head when you have the possibility to reread a book just right after you finish it and interact with it in a different way, because now you know what's going on. Now you are familiar with the concepts, with the story, with the teachings, with the things that the author is trying to tell you. Maybe you don't know everything about the book, but you definitely know more than before you read it for the first time. And this is going to put you in a different position when you read it again. This is going to establish a different interaction between you and the book that you are reading, if you decided to reread it. That's it for today in terms on how to read. I guess I will need at least 1 or 2 more videos to give you some tips on how to read, and then we're going to move on with the season. I hope that as soon as you read your next book, these tips will be helpful, and let me know in the comments below if they are being useful for you, if they are changing anything for you, or if they if they don't help you at all, and I'm just a charlatan. See you in the next episode.